Welcome to Unfiltered Truth with Jack Bomar, where we have real conversations that ignite the spirit, challenge the mind, and inspire transformation. Today's episode is especially exciting because we're talking about leadership, personal growth, and the power of emotional intelligence to transform not just careers, but our lives. Our guest today is an executive coach, international consultant, and a behavior scientist with over 24 years of experience helping leaders, organizations, and individuals achieve extraordinary results. She is the founder and managing partner of Personality Matters, Inc., a best-selling author, and a Forbes Coaching Council member. She has coached thousands of leaders and executives, guided multi-million-dollar ventures, and helped countless people to move beyond the barriers they have created for themselves to lead, influence, and thrive. Please welcome our guest, Dr. Cherry Collier. Dr. Cherry, welcome to Unfiltered Truth.
Oh, yes. We all need a little bit of that, right?
Listen, thank you so much for taking the time. I know how busy you are and all that you got going on, and the mere fact that you chose to come to be a part of this conversation. We're so very grateful.
Well, listen, when you gave me the invitation, I said yes before I knew that there was a path. But if God gives you the vision, He's going to give you the provision.
Hey,
so
that's already a word. Do you know what an inspiration you are?
Oh,
you are. You really are. You recently shared with us in our Ubuntu conference, and I was amazed at how much you were able to bring into your presentation. It was quite extraordinary.
well, thank you. And you know what I will say is probably the hardest thing for me is to receive. So I'm such a giver. So when people, thank me and they give me gifts and all that, that's a very tough thing for me. So thank you with the Unfiltered Truth. Started me off right there. So
Really?
I really appreciate it. And I'm passionate about helping people. And I believe in being a servant leader and just serving and serving. So thank you for acknowledging.
Well, bless you. And, you've dedicated your life to leadership and helping people to move out of their own way. And that's no small feat, I'm curious to know, what's the path? What's your journey? What's your story that led you on this particular trajectory for your life?
So move out of your own way is so significant to me because it was that pivotal point in my life. I am very nerdy. I am that child that always wanted to know why. I was, and if I get any time to go to school, I am an A student.
Wow.
Not just an A student, I am an A++ student, which means that my left brain has been overactivated. And what I wasn't realizing is my drive and need to make straight A's was sometimes not allowing other people to be recognized. Or my goal was, I want to be the best. I want to be the best. And sometimes in school, my questions to the professors, when they would, put a little red mark on my paper, like, where did you get that from? What page was that on?
Wow.
And it didn't come off the way that would show people that I truly cared. And Zig Ziglar has a quote that I live by: people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care.
Wow.
So a part of my story has been the understanding that you can know a lot, but if people don't know you care, none of that matters.
Wow.
And so that's the birth of Move Out of Your Own Way. I was the one who needed to move. And so that's why my story is so important to me, because I am really trying to help other people understand you got to show people that you care.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Was there a particular moment or experience? What was a point that caused you to make that shift?
You know, it's the funniest thing. Back then, before Instacart, I used to go into the grocery store, and the people in the grocery store will always ask me, like, why are you frowning? Why are you frowning? And I would be so confused because I'm literally thinking, because I'm a thinker. So I'm like, Jiffy, Skippy, which one here? Which one do I want? And my response, because this is unfiltered truth, was, why are you bothering me? Like, it has to be other people in the store. And what I really started to realize that if every time you go out, it can't be them.
Wow. Wow. Okay.
Right? Those three fingers are actually pointing back at me. So I had to understand all of the science that I had worked so hard to learn, emotional contagion. Like, you are responsible for the emotions and the energy that you're bringing into the space. And the people in the grocery store are stressed out because you frowning, lady. And then, of course, I put the neuroscience to it to understand that because I'm such a deep thinker that I forget to smile. I forget to pause. And that's the message that I wanted to make sure that other people got once I got it.
So you are not just frowning because you're upset. You're just thinking.
Right. Yes. Yes. And so I wake up happy. I really do. And I had a Raggedy Ann and Andy alarm clock.
Okay.
And I have to say this because the fact that 50 years later, I still know what my alarm clock said. And
Really?
and I just connected that is my greeting.
Wow.
It says, Andy, please wake up. It's time to call our friend. Okay, Ann, I'm awake. Let's shout it once again. We were set to wake you. So here we are to say, please wake up, brush your teeth, and start your happy day.
Wow. Hey, that's an affirmation. That is a powerful statement to set the trajectory of your day.
Every day. That is how.
So you still affirm that?
I still affirm it. And if you see a message from me, it will start with happy day. And sometimes it's greetings and happy day, but it is all about being happy. And what I had to understand is you could be happy on the inside, right? Which is powerful.
Yeah.
But you also have a responsibility because you were called to this earth to help other people. It's not just about you. Yeah. And so that's the whole move out of your own way.
Wow. Wow.
Get over there. See who's there.
Wow. That's powerful. So you work a lot with leadership, human performance, and emotional intelligence. And I know that most people, when you talk about emotional intelligence, probably don't know exactly what that refers to. Can you sort of lean into it a little bit? What does that mean, emotional intelligence?
So I'm going to, because I always take things and put it on its head. I'm going to say the emotional intelligence is a buzzword. And the original person, or the person who gets the most credit for it, is Dr. Daniel Goleman. And I think that his work and all of the work around it is very profound. What I am attempting to help people to do is to understand that being emotionally intelligent isn't the fact that you want the other person to cry because you're a crier, right? Okay. Because what to me happens is everyone wants you to respond to their emotions in the same way that they do. Okay. So I work from a perspective that emotionally intelligent individuals don't just read the book, they learn to read the room.
Wow.
Right?
Wow.
And understanding what is the appropriate emotion for that time.
Powerful.
So that's how I see it.
Why is that important for leaders today, especially given the climate in this nation, in our society?
It's really important because the leader sets the tone, and they don't understand that they don't have the power.
All right.
Right?
All right.
Because if you look around and nobody is following you,
Hey.
you are not the leader.
All right.
Right? So the janitor can be the leader. Right? The secretary can be the leader. And it's because it's the person in the organization who has the most emotional intelligence. And that is they are learning how to deal with all of these different people. And in right here in this space, there are some emotionally intelligent people. And whenever something happens, they're going to run to those people first. Yeah. And so making sure that the leader understands just because you're at the top and you're making all of these rules and you think that you're powerful, power truly comes when people give it to you.
Absolutely.
You have no power.
Absolutely.
And most people who are parents know that. Just because you tell your child to clean the room doesn't mean that they're going to clean it.
So wise leadership is one who can identify those who embody that level of emotional intelligence, especially in an organization and group, and empower them in that light.
Yeah.
That serves the greater community.
That's what they need to do. And people need to understand that just because you do something one way doesn't mean that that's the only way.
That's the only way. I know. I know. You're preaching now.
Yeah, right.
So you've worked with Fortune 500 companies, government agencies, private businesses, and in all of those environments, what patterns do you notice in leaders who struggle versus those who thrive?
Oh, that is so powerful. When I think about the people that struggle, they are self-centered. It's very simple. They're self-centered, and it's all I. And I'm saying, is it I, A-Y-E? Is it I what? Like, tell me what that means. And the people who truly thrive really understand that in order to be successful, I'm going to have to get over there and understand what is happening. Yeah. I'm also going to have to find a way, as tough as it is for leaders, to empower people to mess it up and fail fast. Because if you don't let them mess it up and fail fast.
Wow. That's another book.
Yes.
Mess it up.
Right, yes.
And lean into that a little. Mess it up. How does that become part of the process of success for you? Mess it up and fail fast. I like that.
Because if you are a leader and you have to tell people how to get from A to Z every day, you're going to have a problem.
Yeah.
And so if my vision is Z, my goal for you is we got to get to Z. And every day of my life, I'm saying B, C, D. Yeah. That's my way. Versus allowing a team to realize they said the goal is Z. What if we go A, 1, 2, 3, C, back to B? You don't know what they're capable of producing. And when you get the outcome, the end result is a powerful Z that you didn't have to create.
Or micromanage.
Right. You didn't have to micromanage. Yeah. And so hypothetically, they will probably mess it up several times. So you can put checkpoints in there to say, I see that you're going to get to Z some way, but here are a few tips that might help you.
That's a lot of patience there.
You have to have the patience, because if you don't have that type of patience, what's going to happen is every day you're going to have to list out A to Z.
Wow.
And guess how many things you aren't doing?
That's absolutely
because you're focused on A to Z. You have, in a Fortune 500 company, you might have 1,000 people that are reporting to you, are you telling all 1,000 of those people how to get from A to Z?
Yeah.
No.
Wow.
You have to encourage, vulnerability and allowing people to fail. But what you really want them to do is to fail fast. Fail fast.
Fail fast. Make a note of that. Fail fast.
And fail forward.
Oh, fail fast and fail forward. Lean into that, please.
Well, see, when you fail, you get the recipe. It's like this plant. A plant needs a lot of things. And the first time you fail, you might say, oh, I didn't give it enough sun. The second time it failed, it too much water. So by the third time, you have the equation for what the plant actually needs. And that's why I'm saying failing forward, because every time you fail, you're getting something for this recipe, for this amazing cake you're baking, right? The first time you put it in the oven before you put the flour in there. So, that probably wasn't the recipe. And so when I say failing forward is getting the lessons, because there are always lessons for all of us.
Got it. Powerful. Failed fast and failed forward. Many people, unknowingly sabotage their own success. In your experience, how do people get in their own way, and what's the first step in shifting that mindset?
So the first step has to be self-awareness, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's difficult to get self-awareness because most of us are not like the Instagram or those influencers that are always looking at ourselves. So we also have to be vulnerable and to develop some relationships so that someone outside of us can see something and be willing to share it, because we all have blind spots.
Absolutely.
So it's the sharing of the information that actually allows you to close that gap. So you have to build some type of relationship with people, an executive coach, a teacher, a friend, a family member, someone who has your best interest. And you know that they have your best interest because they have deposited what we call in psychology idiosyncratic points. In life, what we call is just helping you, being there for you, being a listening ear, and not always just being critical, but also making sure they're giving you something good. And from that, the first step is getting that and then starting to move forward.
So having a circle, or at least a wise counselor, listening ear, is so essential. We hear all the time the therapist needs a therapist.
That's right.
The pastor needs a pastor. The doctor needs a doctor.
Yes.
We all need someone in our experience who can be that.
Yes.
Mirror that back to us.
Because we didn't come here alone.
No.
None of us did.
No.
And the beautiful thing about babies, when you look at a baby, they have this beautiful voice. And that voice makes you stop. I mean, there's a chemistry that comes with their little voices that makes you stop to check on them. Yeah. Somebody's got to change their diaper, got to feed them, all that. So we've always needed something, right? And we've always needed someone. But once we start to get successful, we start to believe we can do it all by ourselves. And the truth is we have to move out of our own way and allow people to help us, and also be willing to be a helper as well.
That's a challenge for a lot of people, especially and I don't know, I'm sure in your experience you've seen this, the more successful people become, how easy is it for them to be in that space of allowing others to support them in that way.
I think it's so for everything that I will ever say, there's always going to be two sides, and there's always going to be theory that's going to support it. In many cases, the person who's made it to the top, so many people have let them down. So now you're saying I should trust who? Why? Every time I start trusting,
Yeah.
this is what happens. So again, that's why I'm saying it's those idiosyncratic points. They would have had to have deposited something along the way. And sometimes I meet very successful leaders who really desire to have their family support them, but their family has never supported them.
Sure.
And it's a tough thing for them to understand that you can always love your family and you can create one. And
Absolutely.
that's where you have, like, at Hillside, it's a family.
Yeah.
There are other people that you have decided. Someone can be a relative, they can be related to you,
Absolutely.
but then you can pick and choose your family, the people who can cultivate you, because everyone doesn't have the same skill set. So your mother may have wanted to help you, but she might not know how.
Absolutely.
And it's important to give her that grace and just love her in whatever her capacity is, or your father, or whoever that is.
That is in the Hawaiian culture, it's called ohana. And ohana is not necessarily our biological family, but our extended family of friends and individuals who we find ourselves journeying together.
Ohana, yes.
Ohana. So everyone needs an ohana.
Yes,
Ohana.
we do.
So you've met, I'm sure you've worked with so many people, countless people. Can you share one of the most powerful breakthroughs you've witnessed in whether it was a client or an organization?
One of the most powerful breakthroughs. I think that all of them are powerful, and anytime you have an opportunity to see someone get that aha, it's very, very powerful. And I will tell you that I worked with a client that I was called in to work with, and she was in a very difficult situation because she was sitting around the boardroom table. She was in the C-suite, and really they called me in to coach her because if they were going to let her go. And when I came in and we started to work on looking at her 360, she was extremely defensive, or was about to be. And I told her, I said, listen, we have two ways to look at this. The first way is for you to just read it and say, how can I make sure that nobody ever says this about me again? Or the second way to look at it is just to say, I'm going to be defensive. Which way would you prefer?
Wow.
And she said, And then I said, and anytime somebody gives you two choices, there's also another one, right?
Okay.
And the third choice is, what if their perception of you is not your reality?
Wow.
Right? And so what if we can make you like Coca-Cola, a brand? What would make it so everyone wants you on their shelf? And we went through that 360. She got what she needed from that. And this is a success story that I don't always like to share, but it was my biggest moment for myself, because she got it. You hear me? She got it. But she also, once she got it, knew that she could no longer stay with that organization.
Wow.
Because there was so much damage that had been done. So she gracefully left there. And now she is at the top of her own organization.
That's a breakthrough for sure.
But I don't like to share it because sometimes people say, I'm not bringing you in here for more people to leave. And I also always say, if it's always about fit and growth. And sometimes you don't want them to stay, because sometimes it's really hard to repair damage. But it's much easier to take that knowledge and go somewhere else, and then start to build relationships so people can see you from the light that you want them to see you from. Yeah.
So you work with individuals and teams in corporations.
Yes. Yes.
Oh,
Yeah, I do.
we need to have you come over.
Absolutely.
So what are the top 2 or 3 strategies that you teach people to break through fear, self-doubt, or indecision?
Silence,
Mm.
right? And so I say a lot, and infinite intelligence, use it, right? Because we spend so much time, and I definitely want them to listen to things like this, but we spend a lot of time scrolling and flipping. We're letting stuff download into us that might not necessarily need to be.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying don't get on social media, because I think that there's a place for it. But the first thing is sit in silence with yourself.
Wow.
And just listen to what infinite intelligence is interested in, talking with you about.
Yeah.
Right?
Now, that sounds simple.
Yeah.
I recall serving a particular community. I think I was serving in Hawaii, and we were doing meditation, and one of the elders came and said, that's the most challenging part of service.
Right.
To be in the silence.
Right.
Why do you think that is?
Because we've been taught to always say something. I mean, my favorite thing is the pregnant pause. When I'm coaching, I'll just shut up. And my clients always say, hey, did the line break? You over there? Because I do a lot of mine without, I like to be on the phone. I actually like to be on the phone. I don't like to see my clients.
Really? Why is that?
I do both, but I mean, I do 3. Sometimes I do it live. Sometimes I do it on Zoom. And then my favorite is on the phone.
Why is that?
Because I believe in self-preservation. So I think that some people, and I mean, there's data to support this, some people will take a call like this and really take in what I'm saying and feel it. Now, if they're looking at me, they won't be able to do that.
Got it.
Right? Some people will be avidly writing, and then they're stressing to look up at me, right? And so we have this thing called the Hawthorne effect, where people want to please you. They want to please the person. I want them to get pleased. I want them to receive. And so if they don't have to look at me, that gives them full permission. If they want to sit in the middle of the floor in their pajamas or lay down, I like that for them. And a part of my work with Move Out of Your Own Way is just almost like there's this great book that's actually called Get Naked, which is a little bit, that book is Patrick Lencioni. It's a great book. It's about leadership and teams. Yeah. It's a fabulous book, but that's what really I want people to be. Just genuinely take it all off and don't put on airs for me. And that's my thing.
I think didn't Patrick also write the book, The 5 Dysfunctions of
Yes. One of them. I'm certifying like 32 things.
Really?
That's one of them.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, we definitely got to have you go a number of times. So many of our listeners are aspiring leaders and entrepreneurs. How can they identify where they're holding themselves back and take concrete action to change that?
So nothing is as hard or as simple as we think that it is. One thing that we kind of talked about before is it's healthy and helpful just to talk to someone else. And I encourage people, if you have trained your AI model, that's a great person or a great opportunity to talk, or else just try to get a coach, and try to get a coach who cares about you and not just cares about their financial gain.
All right.
Because there are a lot of people who set up models just to make money, which is I love money and I love prosperity because I don't see anything wrong with it. And you need to make sure that it's going to provide you the opportunity to be prosperous. So I think the big thing is really kind of list what you're thinking, partner with, if you Chat GPT can help you, but you have to train it to help you. A person who cares, a coach who's carefrontational, meaning they care, but they'll still confront you, is very helpful. And that's the big thing. Because what I have found, I started my own business in 2001.
Really?
And have been consulting.
Really?
I started being a coach I started being a coach in 1998.
Really?
While I was working with Accenture and with their permission, and then in 2001 I took the leap. Yeah.
Wow. What sort of inspired the leap?
Well, I took there was a values assessment that I took, and the value assessment kind of broke down what my values were: learning, freedom, and family. And I was working for Accenture in New York. I was definitely learning, so that was great. I didn't have a lot of freedom, and my family was not near me. And with Accenture, you would fly out on a Sunday and fly back on a Friday, and I'm flying out from New York, flying back to New York.
Wow.
So when can I see my family? Interesting fact with that, I like to say the elephants know, and that's that part of infinite intelligence. I made the decision to leave Accenture August, the month before 9/11.
Wow.
My team, we were in Mahwah, New Jersey. We had just worked on a project, and we were just assigned to the World Trade.
Wow.
My team did not survive.
Oh, my goodness. Wow.
And I made this concrete decision to come home. Accenture said, we'll pay you 6 months. I said, fabulous. You can pay me 6 months, but I'm going to move back to Atlanta. And I did. And so my manager at the time was a guy named Adam. And Adam, ironically, went to my middle school. So he is from Atlanta.
Wow.
Yeah, did not survive. And I'm not saying I'm better than anyone. I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying that my infinite intelligence told me and gave me signs. Like when I was taking the assessment, I could have tried to figure something out, but I literally sat down and listened. What is this saying? You're looking at this assessment. What does this really mean? This means you're incongruent. It doesn't add up. And I made a choice for myself that brought me home. And I was driving on the expressway when I got, and of course, everybody had to pull over, but I had to pull over for a different reason, because I'm at that point, you don't know if they survived, but at that point I was like, I was supposed to be in that building.
Oh, but God.
Yeah.
Listening to that still small voice.
That's right.
The guidance, the nudges, and the nudging of spirit.
Yes.
Wow, how powerful.
Yes.
What do you want your legacy to be? What legacy are you leaving behind, or do you want to leave behind for the next generations?
So my mission that I created for my life is cultivating the fruits from within that empower success. So every day I want to cultivate fruits. And the irony, of course, is my name is Cherry. I'm a Cherry Jr. I was named after my mom. And the 9 fruits of the spirit, all of that. I think it's very important. My legacy is helping people to recognize their fruits. It doesn't even have to be just the 9, right?
Yeah.
But it's your fruit and being okay with your fruit. I cannot understand why people feel like they need to have my fruit.
Hey.
You don't have to.
That's your fruit.
It's okay. And my fruit is not for everybody.
Hey.
It's okay. If you don't want cherry, cherries are antioxidants. You don't have to want this one. Do you know how many other antioxidants there are? So I want people to just wake up and feel their own fruit, whatever that is, and be it.
And get to know it.
Get to know it.
And be all right with it.
Be all right. Figure out how to cultivate it. Back to what we're talking about. Yours might not need the same soil mine needs. That's okay.
The world needs cherry, though.
That's right.
So listen, for our young listeners who might be tuned in right now, feeling unsure, unheard,
right.
With all that's happening in the world today and just feeling concerned.
Right.
What word of encouragement would you give them? What word of encouragement would you give them?
The big word for the young people is understand that you know who you're meant to be. You know who you were meant to be because the call that came from you for you didn't come from T-Mobile.
All right now.
It didn't come for Verizon.
All right.
It didn't come for Sprint. There was a call for you, and you know it. And so just embrace who you came to the earth to be. And the powerful thing for you to understand is you are not for everybody. You don't have to follow everybody. Yeah. And there is strength, and it's sexy. It's sexy to say no. Because people end up in gangs, they end up in bad relationships, they end up in all of these things that they don't need. But you are absolutely enough.
That's powerful.
They are.
You're absolutely enough.
Absolutely.
Well, listen, this last segment is called Unfiltered and Unapologetic. So I'm going to ask you a few quick questions and to get your first and unfiltered thoughts, okay? No prep.
No prep.
You ready? What's one word that describes your life's mission?
Oh, one word that describes my life mission with no prep, play.
All right, that's good. That's good. I think you're the first to say play. I love that.
Yeah.
Coffee or tea?
I'm an either or. Well, I'm a both and, not either or. So I'm going to say tea, coffee. Coffee, tea. It's one word.
Okay. Tea, coffee, tea. And I think you probably already shared this. Your favorite leadership quote?
People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. Yeah. Yeah.
That's powerful.
And actually, there's another one. And I'm probably going to get this wrong, but there comes a point when I'm going to leave that one alone because I'm going to work on it because it has become my favorite one. I think it's from maybe Desmond Tutu. It's like it comes a point when we got to figure out why these people are stuck. Now I'll get that one to you because it's very, very powerful. It kind of stopped me in my tracks.
I look forward to that. One habit that keeps you grounded daily.
One habit that keeps me grounded is, so I make up my bed every day, no matter what. But the biggest habit is just setting my intention to play every day, all the way.
That is so
I'm just going to play through it. We're going to play through it.
That is so powerful. Two more.
Oh, and can I add this one thing?
Yeah.
And I'm a big football fan, so when people don't play all four quarters, when it's the third quarter and you're at that 14th minute, I'm like, are we seriously? No, play all the way.
Well, go on and name your team. You're naming it. What's your team?
Well, so first, I'm a graduate of the University of Georgia, so I'm way Bulldog. I'm a Bulldog fan, and I'm a Falcon fan, a Braves fan, and Hawks fan.
All right.
And there has to be something God has in store for me. For continuing to support the Falcons and it's like God has something big
just for you
and resilience for me.
All right. Two last questions. The book or person that changed your life?
Norman Vincent Peale.
Oh wow.
Norman Vincent Peale. So when I was 5 years old, My mother used to listen to Norman Vincent Peale.
Oh.
And I was like, hey, what is that? And I told her that she could not listen to Norman Vincent Peale while I was taking my bath, getting ready for school, whatever. I had to listen with her.
Wow.
And so when I was in the first grade, I was telling them about the power of positive thinking. They said, look, listen, baby, we just need you to know your alphabets and all this stuff and how to write. I said, I learned that. Listen, I did that at 3. So what? So now
they didn't know.
Yeah,
they
so
did
listen,
not know.
So now I'm trying to help you with your language. Like, can you tell us to be? Yes. So that's Norman Vincent Peale.
Finish this sentence.
Mm-hmm.
Unfiltered truth means
love.
Hey.
Love in every way. That's what it means.
As we wrap up, what final message would you like to share with the listeners today? And how can they connect with you and find you and get your book?
The final message for me is to recognize that a boat doesn't sink because of the water that's around it. It sinks because of what gets inside. And I really want people to patch the leaks and just don't let it in. Don't let anything in that can cause you to sink. If you do, let's patch it. And so they can find me on Facebook. I have a community called The Unsinkable Mind, Calm Over Chaos. Dr. Cherry at drcherry.com. And I'm always here.
Thank you so much for joining us, for sharing your wisdom, your stories, and your heart. We got to do this again.
Well, thank you. And thank you for being who you are, because I see your heart, and your heart is really about uplifting and caring and wanting us all to just be the best versions of ourselves.
Bless you. Thank you for that. And family, you've heard it. Powerful message. Awareness is the key. Get your copy of the book. And thank you for tuning in to Unfiltered Truth.